Yo, it's me, it's the SCOTT. For the review today, I have decided to veer away from the list of movies for the 31 on 31 and kind of put out a review for one that's just out there. So I decided to take a look at Pet Sematary 2, or Out, as it says there, because it's backwards. But so Pet Sematary 2 is a sequel to the 1989 horror film Pet Sematary, and does not continue any of the story almost of the first one, other than the Pet Sematary being involved. At one point, you do see the the Creed house. Mary Lambert directed both films. You see the Creed house from the first film, and it looks nothing like the house that they had in the first film. But yeah, you think if they did a sequel, it would, continue with Ellie Creed, the only one left. But no, we got a whole new story here about Jeff, played by Edward Furlong, whose mother dies in some horrific accident on a movie set. So he and his father move back to her hometown, which happens to be the same place from the first film. Meet some colorful characters. They meet Clancy Brown, who used to date Jeff's mom when they were in high school or whatever. And they meet Jared Rushton, who's the bully. I'm calling by the actors' names, I don't remember their characters' names. I will sound off because I've seen it before, so I don't need complete. I wasn't yawning before this review, and now I can't stop freaking yawning. Hold on. So, what are the positives, what are the negatives? Well, positive is that Edward Furlong, for the most part, till like the end, does a good job in what he's given. It's Edward Furlong before he went tits up. He's good. Anthony Edwards, I think, is pretty good. And Clancy Brown, you can't go wrong. He gets wacky and crazy in this, but he's still pretty good. And even some of the creature effects are still pretty good. It's still Mary Lambert, so it's still got that sort of feel of the first film. For the most part, there is a little more wackiness to it. The first film was based off of books, so they had to go for some of what the book had intended. You had to go for that kind of story. Here, it's an original script, so they just did whatever. Now, the negative. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Positive. The negative is, it goes wackadoo very fast. Like, Jeff shows up, he gets bullied by this guy, he meets this fat kid whose name I don't remember, and his stepdad is Clancy Brown. Shoots the dog, and so they bury it in the pet cemetery because they heard a story about the Creeds from Jared Rushton, I think. And so they bury it. It comes back and ends up killing the stepdad, Clancy Brown. So they bury him, and he comes back as a better person than he was. He was the asshole stepfather. I've been there, trust me. My mom's first husband. But anyway, in case you're wondering, he becomes a little wackadoo, a little crazy. He's still kind of possessed, but he's not like zombified evil like Gage or Marianne Creed was. Not Marianne Creed, that's the wrong movie. Or the mom from the first one was. Marianne Creed is from Rocky. I get confused. I'm sorry. But, yeah. For the most part, this is done pretty well. Like I said, Clancy Brown does a good job, but sorry, I'm trying to hold back yawns. For some reason, I cannot fucking stop yawning. And I wasn't yawning before doing this video. I don't understand why. It starts to slow into a descent once Jeff, for some reason or another, decides he's going to bring his mother back. Apparently they buried her body there, so now he digs her up. Clancy Brown helps him, and they take her body back to the pet cemetery. You know, the Knick-Knack burial grounds. Micmac, whatever. And you bury your own. So now, all of a sudden, Jeff is sort of possessed by something. He wants to bring his mother back so his family can be back together. Now, this would make sense if they had actually introduced the Wendigo from the book as part of the story from the first film, but they don't. And they don't even try to mention it here to continue a sort of story thread that they could say, oh, this Wendigo was the reason why the Creeds did what they did and why there was no sound mind no matter, what happened. But they never mention it, and it's just some kind of compellment to him for him to do this. And he doesn't snap out of it till the end when he finally realizes, no, I don't want this. And she melts in the fire in the house, I guess. I don't know. It's really weird. And the credits start with almost like sitcom-ish with pictures of the characters that died in the film all smiling. It's really weird. But yeah, his friend and his mom, Clancy Brown's family, they die. A potato truck hits them. I don't know. It's very weird. It's clear they were trying something at first. He finds a little kitten and it's carrying it around. And I first thought when I first watched this, oh, the bully is going to kill the cat and he's going to bury the cat. It's going to come back like Church. But the dog's the first animal that dies and comes back vicious. Which, a dog can be more vicious than a cat. Sometimes. Not. That's a cat scratch. But, actually, it's a cat bite. He's vicious. He has no claws on the front. He bites. But anyway, yeah, it starts okay, and then once they introduce the actual Knick-Knack burial ground in the pet cemetery, it goes downhill. Clancy Brown is probably the highlight, and then it just towards the end, because it's kind of, it's all too, hey, we're doing this because I'm gonna do this. And there isn't even a reason why he suddenly wants to bring his mother back. He just does, and it's just really weird. All in all, if you turn your brain off, you can enjoy this. It's, from beginning to start, kind of weird, wacky fun. And when you sit there and think, the same person directed this as the first one, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's decent. It's enjoyable if you turn your brain off. I'm going to give it a 6. Well, I will also be doing the remake. So look out for that. But until then, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.